Hey, I hope you're well. I just recently heard a podcast episode of Joanna Penn at thecreativepen.com. And she talked about the idea for your business of having a lighthouse, basically something that attracts your customers to you. And this idea inspired me to create a template. And this is how I would use it. So the lighthouse is something that you basically should be able to control in some way or the other, that helps customers find you instead of you going to all your customers and to all the social media channels and to everything that's popping up to reach out to them. So what you need to have is, of course, your lighthouse, but that will not be enough in this cluttered world, right? So you need to have signals that help people finding you. So basically signals spread all over the ocean, I would say, to help people find you. And these signals will lead to the lighthouse, which will actually help people find your harbor. And the harbor is something that you control, your platform that you use to sell and to nurture your customers, right? So when you think of this as a template, and I named it the Lighthouse Strategy Map, you could start strategizing on what are your signals, what is your lighthouse, and what is your harbor. And I wanted to quickly go through this with an example of myself to show you how I would fill this out. So, for example, when we focus on the signals very quickly, I would say for me, for example, is kind of events where I speak to people. That's one of my signals where people find me, see what I have to tell, and they want to follow me. And of course, like a big element of my work as well is word of mouth, right? And for this example, I'm focusing on my author business. So perhaps you're an author too, or you're an entrepreneur, but like I'm focusing on my author business here. So word of mouth is definitely something. And then I was thinking about like my social media channels, and I have all the TikTok and Threads and Facebook and X and all that kind of stuff, but I'm not super familiar or comfortable with them. So what I am comfortable with is Instagram. So I like Instagram because I can share some personal stuff there as well as some business elements too. So, and it's very visual, so it helps my business too. And then I like LinkedIn as well because I am writing a lot of nonfiction. So I would say LinkedIn is as well an element that I want to focus on. And then, especially for my author business, I see all the stores out there that might be physical bookstores or online bookstores as signals too, because on those channels and like outreach possibilities, people can actually find me. So that would be wide online and offline bookstores. I love them all, but they are most likely signals for my main business, for my main author business. So then when I'm looking back here, now I have all my signals identified and thought about what I want to focus on. My lighthouse is definitely the YouTube channel, so where you're most likely seeing this video on, because I think with what I have to offer, a YouTube channel is the best thing to transfer my thoughts to you, as well as my newsletter, which I'm focusing on very much lately, building assets and communicating with my subscribers on a deeper level. And then there's a third lighthouse that I would like to embark more on, and that is Kickstarter, right? Because that is basically an entry point to my publishing business too. As I said, I'm focusing in this example on my 2024 author business, right? That's what I'm focusing on. And all of this leads into my harbor, where I sell to my customers, perhaps to you as well, and I nurture these customers. And that is basically my website, isn't it? So it's holgernielspol.com. Whoever choose that name, but I think it's rememberable. And nowadays I have not only like a normal website, but I have my store, right? So it's a Shopify store where people can buy my books, and I can have my blog on there and all that kind of good stuff and additional resources too. And that will be my Shopify store. And when I look at this as my overall strategy for my author business, I really like the idea of Joanna Penn with the lighthouse and like showing where I am. So basically, when you see that, like my signals, the events, often enough skip the lighthouse and go directly to my store. Then of course my YouTube channel and my newsletter are linking to my store. And word of mouth, LinkedIn, Instagram are both showing to my lighthouse as well, the events of course. But sometimes they lead directly to my harbor. They skip the lighthouse because there's like people are amazed and looking for that too. And the white stores are as well pointing to my lighthouse. And then Kickstarter itself is then lending to my direct store, because Kickstarter is basically a publishing strategy. It helps attracting new customers and of course sells as well before I go to my store. But it is basically a mechanism to as well reach new readers on this platform. So this is how I would fill the Lighthouse Strategy Map. I hope that helps you too. I have created a blog post on my website, holgernielspol.com. Just go for that and download that template and play with it yourself. See how it leads you. I found it very useful to think about my lighthouse and embracing the thought that I don't have to go everywhere where my customers are, but just giving people a place where they can find me. And I hope that helps you too. And I wish you a happy and successful and healthy 2024. I am Holger Niels Pohl. Check out my other work on holgernielspol.com. I see you over there. Bye.